You've probably seen that Reddit is adding paywalls with sensationalist headlines such as Reddit will lock some content behind paywalls this year. A working CEO says that some content may be locked behind a paywall. Working on it as we speak, Reddit confirms plans to add paywall subscriptions for exclusive content this year. And while this is probably technically true, it's more likely that some kinds of content will be locked behind paywall. And more than likely, this will not be working retroactively to subreddits and content that are not currently paywall. Here's what the CEO actually said. When asked this week about plans for Redditors to create, quote, content that only paid members can see, Huffman, that's the CEO, said, quote, it's a work in progress right now, so that one's coming. We're working on this as we speak. And when asked what key new features you plan to roll out for Reddit in 2025, Huffman responded, in part, paid subreddits, yes. Reddit's paywall would ostensibly only apply to certain subreddit types and not any subreddits currently available. In August, Huffman said that even with paywalled content, free Reddit will continue to exist and grow and thrive. And as much as you might dislike this idea, and I think it's totally reasonable if you do, the thoughts behind it actually kind of make sense. As long as content has existed, there have been people that have been willing to pay for it. So Reddit has about 1.2 billion active monthly users. It's an absolutely huge website. So if you think about 0.5% of those people being willing to pay $5 a month for some kind of exclusive access to any of the millions of subreddits that exist, then that's $360 million a year. That basically doubles Reddit's revenue. Lots of other websites, basically every website you can think of, has some kind of paid exclusive feature. So it makes sense that Reddit would be the next website to start doing it, and that would also work pretty well. And as for what that would actually look like, we've actually had a few things be hinted at by CEOs and executives and some other people within the community. This is from Ars Technica. The possibility of paywalls came up during an earnings call when analysts asked Huffman about maintaining Reddit's culture as it looks to earn money now for people and creators across platforms. Reddit has already launched a contributor program where popular posts can make Reddit users money. It discussed monetizing its developer platform, which is in public beta with a few hundred active users, Huffman said yesterday. In response to the analyst's question, Huffman said that based on his experience, adding new ways of Reddit expands the platform but doesn't cannibalize existing Reddit. Specifically, he continued, I think the existing altruistic free version of Reddit will continue to exist and grow and thrive, which is that same exist, grow, and thrive quote that we've been seeing from him. But now we will unlock the door for new use cases, new types of subreddits that can be built and may have exclusive content or private areas, things of that nature. Huffman's comments suggest that paywalls could be added to new subreddits rather than existing ones. At this stage, though, it's unclear how many users may be charged to use Reddit in the future, if any at all. Regarding the potential of paywalls, Reddit spokesperson Tom, whatever his last name, told Ars Technica, we've had versions of premium community features in the past, like r/Gold Lounge, that users love, so we're exploring new ways to empower moderators and communities to make exclusive spaces and content. We'll let you know when we have more to share. So we're probably looking at a few main things. Exclusive subreddits, where people pay to view the subreddit itself, pay to view profiles, where like whole profiles are locked behind a paywall, and then paid spaces that are within a free subreddit. So imagine something like where you can see most of the posts, but then a couple of them are locked behind paywall. And we kind of have some idea of what that one would look like thanks to this comment from Ahmad on Wall Street Bets, where he says, for everyone asking for specifics, I'm not sure what I'm allowed to say. I will say that as of right now, this sub will not be participating in it, which is some kind of a beta program. So for transparency's sake, our sub was/is in the beta program for this, referencing the locking paywalled content this year. He said, we recently had a meeting with Reddit to go over what it would look like and how it would work after the presentation. There's absolutely no way that we would want to move forward with this. There's no content on here that we would want locked behind a paywall. It feels completely anti-Wall Street Bets and anti-user. Also, I cannot imagine, and this is important, scrolling through the feed and seeing a locked post that you have to be a member to see, which suggests that the Wall Street Bets, for example, will continue to remain free and active, and then you'd come across a post like, say, this one for some reason, which is dunking on Tesla, and it would be a paid post, only for specific members. And this probably would work a lot like it does on YouTube right now. Take Linus Tech Tips, for example. Huge channel. Basically everything he creates is free, and as you scroll down, there is once every 4 videos, maybe, so once a week, they have a members-only video. So you can watch this one for free, watch this one for free. This one you have to pay to watch for, but this one's free, but you can still see it. And it just says members only, denoted as something that you have to pay for. And then this is members only, this one's free, this one's members only. So within your regular YouTube feed or the channel feeds that you look at, you will see members only paid videos that you can see a teaser at or a thumbnail at, but that you cannot actually watch without joining up here for, I think it's $5 or $6 a month. Also, while you're on YouTube anyway, looking at Linus Tech Tips members only videos, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, I try to make videos 2 or 3 times per week, and I'd love to see you around. Now, as for the second thing we talked about with pay-per-view for specific profiles, I think that one's probably pretty easy to think about. You can imagine it a lot like OnlyFans, where you have a profile that you can read like the description of and look at the Instagram of and get some information about, but the specific posts themselves are locked behind a paywall. And I'm choosing here what is probably the only safe for work OnlyFans creator perhaps in the world, and he was featured by OnlyFans because OnlyFans is trying to get away from exclusively sexual content. But you get the idea. Creators of specific genres might want their stuff locked behind paywalls that you have to pay to look at their profile. So their Reddit profile, whereas right now, if we just pick some random person, you can see all of their posts here on Reddit. If you were to do that with this one, it would look more like this, where you have to pay to be able to have access to their profile and see their posts or see their exclusive content or whatever it is. And the last thing is exclusive subreddits, and probably those would work just about how you would imagine, where you pay to have access to the subreddit in the first place, and you can't access them or can't see any posts on them unless you have paid. Probably this would work a lot like a paid Discord server, where you have other Discord servers in your Discord profile that you can look at and access, but there's a specific paid one that you have to have an active subscription in order to be able to use. Now, Reddit's been free since dinosaurs roamed the earth, basically. So you're probably asking yourself, well, why now? What is the point of all of these changes? And you guessed it, the answer is probably money. See, Reddit IPO'd 11 and almost 12 months ago, and since that time, it's actually been doing pretty well. Except for recently, as you can see, they missed user growth estimates. Even though their revenue was fine, the amount of users that they thought would join the platform didn't actually end up joining the platform, and as a result of that, their stock took a pretty significant hit. As you can see here, Reddit stock falls by more than 20% since last week's earnings report as a 6-month rally eases. Reddit stock has lost roughly 23% since its earnings report last week, coming off a 6-month rally that saw shares quadruple. The social media platform, which went public nearly a year ago, last week reported its fiscal fourth quarter earnings. Though earnings per share surpassed estimates, so they did better than they thought they would, Reddit's daily active users fell from the prior quarter due to a change with Google's search algorithm that hurt traffic to the site. CEO Steve Huffman told analysts in a call last Wednesday that traffic from Google search has since recovered, which may or may not actually be true. You don't have to know if that's true until next quarter, and by then everyone will have forgotten he said that, but shares fell 5% in the next trading day and have continued to plummet over the last week. The stock's 19% 5-day loss was the largest decline over the time period since April of 2024. So even though Reddit's made a lot of money, if they're not getting enough users, then the amount of money they're going to make off of advertisements is going to start to taper off because there are fewer people actually seeing those advertisements. So as a result of that, Reddit needs to add more features to continue to monetize their platform so the amount of money continues to go up, even if the amount of users isn't going up as fast as they thought it would. Most likely this plan has been in the works for a while, and the stock hit prompted the CEO to bring it up now. Whether that was sooner than planned or not, I can't really say, but I do think that this is probably actually going to work. Reddit is one of the largest social media platforms in the world. They won't really need to advertise this feature per se. They just roll it out, and probably almost all of their 1.2 billion users will become familiar with it pretty quickly. They can stick a notification in the app. They can send a mail to everyone automatically. It can appear at the top of subreddit feeds that you can pay for content in XYZ places. This is a very easy thing to roll out. And if only 0.5%, like I said earlier, of people actually use this, even less than 0.5%, that's still probably hundreds or tens at least of millions of dollars for the company that's not making a lot of money right now. And for those of you saying that this is going to be unpopular, Reddit's always been free, so the fact that you're charging for anything goes against the core value, users will hate it. And that's fair, and I think very reasonable that you dislike it. But I would say to Reddit, you're not a user that was going to pay anyway, so they kind of don't care if you dislike it. This appeals to the same audience that pays for like Patreon, Twitch subscriptions, YouTube memberships, and so on and so forth. If you aren't someone that pays for those kind of subscription things, like I am not, I never pay for that, then they weren't marketing to me in the first place. So they don't really care that I dislike it. They only care if people that do pay for that kind of thing like it. And probably those people are going to like it and going to pay for it. I think Reddit is too big with too many users for this not to work. Thanks for watching.